But yeah, we're gonna just go into something, and something that we're gonna go into is we're gonna touch on slavery. This is something that the majority of the people don't want us to talk about or don't want to hear about, and that's really because it's a shameful history. Okay, but we have to deal with it because this is something that made Great Britain for what it was, for what it is today, slavery. You understand? And another thing as well, not only are we not forgetting about it, or we haven't forgotten about it, but the Lord himself hasn't forgotten about it. Okay, and I want to show you something. I want to show you why the Lord has not forgotten about the slavery that happened to his people. Okay, give me what you got?
He's got the 2 Peter.
Yeah, give me that one, brother.
Right, this is 2 Peter 3 and 8.
Yeah.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
Yeah, so it's one day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So what makes up a day? 24 hours, don't it? So let's just say slavery happened 500 plus years ago, which really it did. Let's not use 400 years. Let's use another number, 500 years ago or plus. Now, basically, if that was the case, then pretty much slavery in God's time, okay, the Lord's God's time happened 12 hours ago. All right. So the Lord ain't gonna forget about something that happened 12 hours ago in his time, and it was huge. Okay? So at the end of the day, the Lord, when people say, oh, you gotta forget and just go along with society for now, the Lord ain't doing that, man. Because see what the Lord is doing, the Lord is actually recording the heavens on what people are doing, and what they have been doing in the past, and also what they're doing right now. So as we have it right now, who's ruling right now? Who's in the power seat right now? The so-called Europeans. Okay, the so-called white people, they're in power right now, but how did they get their power? They got their power 12 hours ago during the timeline of Yahweh Shah. So the Lord has not forgotten about what happened to his people, man. And we all understand what happened to the Lord's people was already sanctioned, was already destined to happen due to what? Our ill will. But that don't mean they're gonna get us scot-free. Okay? Because I did the math, I was kind of thinking about the other day. I was in my house just contemplating, and I was thinking to myself, okay, if one day to the Lord is 1,000 years, which is 24 hours, right? Then all we gotta do is take half of that away when we get 11 to 12 hours in the Lord's time. So, let's say for example, you going somewhere, or you going outside of the country in 12 hours time, you better have your luggage prepared, your clothes prepared, everything prepared. Because that 12 hours is going cool quick. It's a short period of time. Alright, so something that happened in a short period of time in the eyes of the Lord, because see, even the Lord, he also remembers on how his son was crucified on the cross. The Most High remembers that. And that was 2 days ago to him, but to us, it was 2,000 years ago. So if that was 2,000 years ago to us, then that would be 2 days to the Most High. And if that's 2 days to the Most High, how much more the transatlantic slave trade? How much more that period? That's even going to be more of a short period of time. Okay? So the Lord has not forgotten about what happened and what these devils did. Okay, these devils, all they can say right now, at this point right now, is I'm sorry. Okay? Or let's just say the entire British government say they're sorry. The damage has already been done. So now what they're going to have to do is deal with their judgment. Okay? So let's get what you got, brother? I'll tell you what, read that one more time, brother.
2 Peter 3 and 8.
Yeah.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Right.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
Right. So slavery happened less than a day ago in the eyes of the Lord, in the Lord's time. So like I said, the Lord hasn't forgotten about slavery. We're going to talk about what made Great Britain great, as it was. That's what we're going to talk about, because that's why these so-called Europeans, they live in a how on their horse right now. Why? Because of what? Slavery. The Barclays Bank is highly a wealthy establishment due to slavery. HSBC is also a very wealthy establishment set up bank. Why is that? Because of what? Slavery. So when we understand the fabric of what makes a society great or what made it great, it was because of that situation. Okay, and then when you check it out, when you actually do the research, you find out that the people that was actually afflicted during the slave trade didn't receive no recompensation. Okay, or their grandchildren, which we would be their grandchildren right now. You understand? So this is a very serious thing. Okay, now people force us to believe that it was a long time ago, and it was a long time ago to us. But in the eyes of the Most High, it was just a couple of hours ago. Okay, it was a couple of hours ago. And I have to keep saying that because the Lord haven't forgotten about not a damn thing, man. Okay, the Scripture tells you to require. The Most High requires the things that was past, and we got it right here.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 15.
Yeah.
That which have been is now.
Right. That which have been is now. So that also goes to further show you that no one's getting no stuff free here. So when one says, "Well, my ancestors did it, but I didn't do it," well, you're benefiting of what your forefathers did, and what we're finding out by this Bible here, based on the script that we're reading right now, is that basically the thing that are being is that which is now. So everybody's reincarnated. So the spirits back then that was doing all of that dirty work that enslaved the nation of Israel, they back here walking around all over again, claiming they never did no dirt. Go on.
And that which is to be have already been.
And that which is have been have already been. So all of the spirits and everything in this life or this existence is recycled. Okay? The only thing about it is that your bodies may be new. The bodies that your spirits are in may be new. But your spirit is old. Okay? And the spirits don't die. The spirits keep going. They go back to the spiritual realm and they stay up there for a long period of time, and then they go back down to the earth in new bodies. Alright, go on.
And the Most High Yahweh requireth that which is past.
And the Most High Yahweh required that which is past. And what are we talking about today? The topic of today is slavery. Okay, the transatlantic slave trade, which is what made Great Britain great today. And that's what we're talking about today, which happened 12 hours ago during the timeline of the Most High God. Alright? So the Lord have not forgotten about what happened to his people. The Most High have not forgotten about the atrocities that was done to the Native Indians too. So what we're gonna do is I got an article that I have here. We're gonna go right into this right here. Alright? I don't care what time or year we're in, I don't give a shit. We're gonna talk about slavery. We're gonna keep talking about it until something is done about it. Okay? That's what we're gonna do out here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read. Let's read this over here. It says here African, right? But I'm going to say it like this. It says, how Israelite slaves created a prosperous new Britain. And it says, millionaires, new banks, profitable companies, and wealthy cities were created by the 18th century transatlantic slave trade. Okay? And it says, let me go into this right here. This phone is acting up. It says, although other Englishmen had been involved in selling human lives in Africa, before John Hawkins' popular history, Britain's slave trade began its first voyage to West Africa in 1562. Okay, he captured 300 people from what is now Sierra Leone to be sold in the Spanish Caribbean. The profit he made from the voyage was unable him to get backing and approval from the Queen Elizabeth I for the further slave trading adventures and the financial involvement of the royal family. So the royal family was involved in the transatlantic slave trade as well. going all the way back to what is it, Queen Elizabeth first. All right. So they also had a heavy hand, and that's why they're the royals right now. Why? Because of what? Slavery. So what I'm gonna do, brothers, I'll tell you what. Somebody speak, so I can get this phone going, man. This phone is
I got a scripture here. This is Baruch 4 and 6.
Okay.
It says, "You were sold to the nations."
Right. It says we were sold to the nations. Go on.
Not for your destruction,
Not for our destruction. Go on.
but because you moved God to wrath.
And that's why that happened. But that don't mean that Esau's gonna get him scot-free and walk up into the sunset, and the Arabs too. Because the Arabs were also responsible for our downfall as well. And they're gonna have to pay as well. And the way they're gonna pay is when that nuclear war is being fought. And we can get that in the book of Joel. Alright? And how do we know this? Because we're the prophets that are set on high. We're the prophets that are set up on the street. That was given the inside scoop from the Most High power. The Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushua. So that's why we can say what we say and stand firm out here. And what I'm saying is this, according to the Bible, the reason why all of you nations are going into World War III is because of the downfall that you caused to our people. Alright? So you don't even know why you're going into World War III, but we're telling you why. Okay? Now you don't have to believe what we're saying. Or you believe, that's alright. But we're just telling you why you're going into World War III. Okay? That's the bottom line, man. That's what it is. So you got something, right?
You were delivered unto your enemies.
Right. You were delivered unto our enemies. We weren't delivered to our best mates. Okay? Your best mate, Billy John. Alright? Oh, Wilson. You were delivered to your enemies, man. Okay, go on.
For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils.
Right, unto devils that worship other gods, sacrificing to other gods. Falsely called. So this is why this happened. This is why the Lord sent Esau after us and destroyed us, man. And all of these other nations too. But like I said, all of these other nations, they're going to pay for what they did to the Lord's people. Because it tells you in the scriptures that the nation of Israel is the apple of the Most High's eye. Because the way they did it, they actually forwarded our affliction the way they did it. Okay? All they had to do was do what they had to do and keep it simple. But they forwarded it. And the scriptures tells you, if you have a slave or something like that, he's supposed to be a slave for 7 years, and then you let him go. So he can build his own foundation. But we've been in slavery for what? 500 years now. So let's get that in the precept as well. Let's get that as well.
I got another precept.
You get me?
I got another precept.
Yeah, you can Zechariah 1:5.
Right, this is Isaiah 42:22. 42:24.
You going?
Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
Right, who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Yes, sister, I don't want to be taking pictures of it. You can take a picture of the sign though. You're going?
God, she's been up here. Did not the Lord, he against whom we have
She
sinned?
knows she's the Israelite.
Yeah, she's been up here before.
You're going?
And it says, who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
You're going?
Did not the Lord?
And not the Lord. So yeah, the Lord did that, but like I said, the Lord did that because we've sinned. We went against the Most High's commandments. But like I said, that does not mean that Esau is going to get him scot-free. Because all of this shenanigans is going to be repaid. All of that's going to be repaid. This is what built your society up, Esau. That's what built your society up. It was established by blood. So the Most High is not a God that he's going to lie. It says that a town that is established by blood, which is in, what is it, the book of Numbers 34, right? It says that person shall be pretty much, his blood shall be shed. I'm roughly paraphrasing it. So how is the blood going to be shed? By what? The nuclear war. Okay, that's really the truth. That's the answer. Because a lot of y'all don't know why you're going into the World War III. But it's because of this. Okay, go on.
This is it.
Yeah, let him read that.
This is Habakkuk 2 and 12.
Yeah.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Right, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Go on.
And establish a city by iniquity.
And establish the city by iniquity. So this is how Britain was established. It was by iniquity. It wasn't established by righteousness and fairness. And America too. It was established by the bloodshed of the saints, man. The people of God, who the world looks down upon. Alright? Who is declared in this society, with low IQ. oh, it's baboons and just acting silly. Okay? These are the people of God that was afflicted in this land to build this land. All right, so let's read that again one more time.
Right, and it says,
and since I got this throne sorted out, now I'm going to read some more of this stuff right here.
it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city with iniquity.
That established a city with iniquity. The word iniquity means a multitude of sins. That's what that means. So this society was established by what? Transgression against God's law and order. So when you go against God's law and order, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna do yourself a great disservice in the future. Because everything comes back. Whatever a man sow, that shall he also reap, right? So if this society was sowed in unrighteousness, then it's gonna go out by unrighteousness. I don't want to be reported. All right? That's what's gonna go down, and that's why World War III is definitive to happen. Okay, so what we're gonna do is gonna read some more. It's going.
And it says, behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire.
Right.
And the people shall weary themselves for every vanity.
Yeah, that's going to miss something else. So we're gonna continue to read this. It says he captured 300 people.
We're matching.
For what is now Sierra Leone to be sold in the Spanish Caribbean. The profit he made from that voyage enabled him to get backing and approval from the Queen Elizabeth I for further slave trading ventures. The financial involvement of the royal family and the country's aristocracy were essential to the growth of British slave trade. And in 1660, the company known as the Royal Adventures into Africa counted 7 knights of the realm, 4 barons and 5 earls, and marquis, if I'm pronouncing it right, 2 dukes, King Charles II, and his queens amongst his backers. A later cooperation, the Royal African Company made London the only English city that would benefit from slavery until 1698. Because what you gotta understand, Liverpool, they was the first ones that really was involved in it. But then they got knocked over and then Britain took over, okay? And that's why when you go to Liverpool right now, it looks like crap. Why? Because of the ills that was done. How do I know? Because I was down there just a minute ago. Okay? So let's read this again. It says, Bristol and Liverpool were soon to overtake London's position as the leading slave trading port, but the city of London have already grown rich, and its link ran longer and deeper than anywhere else. By this time, London has profited from the forced removal of more than 100,000, as they have right here, Africans, but we say Israelites, okay? And the importation of over 30,000 tons of sugar from the Caribbean plantation. All right, so that's what revived the economy of Britain, because they couldn't do it themselves. Okay, if we're stupid and we're a low tribal people, as the West declares us to be, why are you gonna get us from West Africa to do your work when you could have did it better than us? You know why? You know why this is because
the Black Plague, the country had wiped out. So they called all nations from all over, please come in and help us rebuild. And once everybody was ready and everything was built, the racism started, and you black this and you Paki that.
Right.
And now it's getting so much that people are being disrespected. When someone comes into your house, you should be grateful someone's come to you.
That's right.
Bow down. Someone's giving you time to speak to you. You should be thanking them, not thanking.
You said that was after. We're talking prior to that, slave trade.
No, but you know the
one black brother says to me, because I'm virtual with you folks anyway, because slavery was started by a black man.
But what you gotta understand is I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, right? Because afterwards, now that's when the racism was already here. Okay, that's what you gotta understand. But the point of the matter is that you gotta understand, because we were all taught that England is just this high and righteous land, and it's established by Christian values. But when we actually dig deep, we find out that it wasn't the case. Because if it was established by Christian values, then the people of Christianity wouldn't have been slaughtered the way they done, okay, and harmed the way they were. And I use the term Christianity because the term Christian means the anointed ones. Okay, that's what it means. Because only the Israelites can be anointed. So that's why I use that terminology.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, we got brother.
Yeah, it was a point he said about the English, the Dukes. He said something about the Dukes.
Yeah.
And this is how we know that it's Edom we're talking about. And it says, this is Genesis 36 and 19. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their Dukes.
And these are their Dukes, because that's what they called themselves back then. And this was like 4,000 some odd years ago. They even called themselves the Dukes of what is it, Edom, right?
Yeah.
But they call themselves that right now, showing you who Edom is, even on that level. So what's your nationality, if you don't mind, bro?
I don't know, I'm unnationalized. I'm born in Romania, I'm adopted by Pakistani parents, and I've been in the UK since the age of 9.
All right. Well, you might be one of us. There's a lot of Romanians. A lot of Romanians go back to the Soviet. You understand? So you might be one of us.
But the thing is, back in the day, they wanted to create democracy.
Right.
Because what happened, the Aztecs, you know, the Peruvian monks, they were trying to teach us that we can
I just claimed him.
Right, but you know,
we
though,
don't
brother.
need material around us, but
know
they
the one
try to
man.
kill them off, right, and create democracy. That's why we restarted.
But you know, though, my man, that's a good topic we're going to, but I want to deal with one topic at hand, because, you know, we all said, brother, that this is what we're going to do, you know, next week.
Yeah,
so
man.
this is it right here, we're going to deal with this. So read what you got, brother.
I think all this argument should be ducked out, really.
Right. So let's continue to read some more of this. Let's read some more of this. It says, it's like I said, man, ain't nothing changed out here, man. It's the same shit. Okay, it's the same thing, man. I mean, it may look new, but it's the same, man. All right, and what's the same is that the same people that were enslaved are in the same economic position. Why is that? Because society is constructed that way. And if you know about Great Britain, we all know that it's about class system. So when people say, well, things are different now, things have changed, no, it hasn't changed. It's the same shit. All right? It's not a coincidence to us that these same people are in the same position economically. Okay? It's really what we were brought here to do in England is to be slaves. That's it.
Right, this is Deuteronomy 28:43. And the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Right, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's what happened to the children of Israel. They came down very low, man. All right, but like I said, that's not going to let these nations get off scot-free. It's not what the Lord is going to do. He's going to show an example of those that destroyed the nation, so that the whole entire world, okay, or the nations of the world outside of the Israelites would fear. Okay? Yeah, so you speak, brother.
Let me back that up. This is Jeremiah.
I gotta find
Let me back that up what the brother said. He said that because you Edomites, you destroyed the Israelites, that you're going to altogether get away with it. This is what the Most High said. This is Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil.
That's it, brother.
And all that prey upon thee, I will give for a prey.
Right, so all they that prey upon thee, I will give for a prey. Because what they did is they took an aspect. All right? And when you understand those slavery films, they didn't treat the slaves as human beings. They treated them like they were product. Okay, slave human resources to build Britain or to build America. So they looked at us as spoiled. All right? But the scripture says, read that verse again.
And it says, Jeremiah 30 and 16. And it says,
I wasn't going to say no.
Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
And you know it too, and another thing that I'm thinking about going into is the slaughtering of the Native American Indians. That's going to be the next thing we're going to go into next week. All right, because that's what happened. The scripture says, they that devour thee shall be devoured. What happened? During the mid 15th century, the mid 1400s, what you had was you had a bunch of Spaniards that went over to the Americas and slaughtered them off their land, and then got the nerve to push them to the corners, which they called reservations. So like I said, it doesn't really matter how many Edomites are stating our people or whatever. They're not getting off scot-free. They are not getting off scot-free. I don't care how many so-called white men that want to date black women. They're not getting off scot-free. Hey, well, he's right. He's right. But like I said before, people like this are gonna pay for what they did because they think that everything's new. They think that they can just walk into the sunset and everything's beautiful. But he's going into slavery real soon. He don't even know it. His house is going in that nuclear war. And he's going to be burned sizzling. All right. So it doesn't matter because see, and the reason why I pinpointed that, brother. Thank you for correcting me, though. But the reason why I pinpointed that, because see, these Edomites, they think that because they're dating our people, the Most High's just going to change his mind, everything's going to be hunky-dory again. No, the damage has already been done, baby. Now you're going to have to repay the time. It is what it is, man. Okay? Go on, brother.
Isaiah 24 and 21. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high.
The Lord will punish the host of the high ones that are on high because how did they get in that high position? By the backs of the slaves, man. That's how they got up in that high position. That's why they live in lavishly today. They live in these plush homes. Why? Because they got our fucking money. That's why. They got our money. Okay? And they haven't repaid the grandchildren of the slaves that built this fucking place. They got the money. So being that they got the money, they're gonna have to pay exactly for what they did. That required them to have that money in the first place. Okay, go on.
And the kings of the earth upon the earth, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pits.
Right. And that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna go into slavery. Because the Rothschilds, the Barons, the DuPonts, the Gettys, and all of these royal families, they all became royal due to the downfall of our people. And we're supposed to reverend these people as high regard, but not understanding that it took blood for them to get to that position. They did a lot of dirt to get to that position. Okay, go on.
And shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited.
Right, and after many days shall they be visited, because them same individuals that I've named, those families, they're going into slavery as well under us. And they're gonna be in pits. That's the premise. Now that may seem a bit far-fetched and, over the top, but guess what? The over the top is gonna happen. Okay, and the things that happen that are uncomprehendable happen all the time. You be seeing UFOs, you be seeing all kinds, man. You be seeing, what else you be seeing, man? Micromoons happening, different phenomenons that can't be explained in the carnal mind. Okay, and then you also have meteorites coming from the sky. Okay, you got people just dropping dead with no kind of disease at all. Just drop dead. So the impossible or the unbelievable happens all the time. So what we're saying is gonna happen. If everything else has been coming to pass and what we've been saying, how much more the other prophecies? Go on, brother. Okay.
This is Proverbs 11:21. Go hand join in hand. The wicked shall not be unpunished.
Right, and that goes back to my point because see, a lot of these white boys, they dating our women. That's all right. That's cool. That's all cool and dandy. I'm not mad about that. All right, I'm not mad about that. Well, not one iota. What I'm mad about though is that this society is still going. That's the root of my problem. Is that this society, this wicked, evil, sadistic empire is still going on. That's what I'm pissed off about. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to continue to read this. And it says, a later court operation, the Royal African Company made London the only English city that would benefit from slavery until 1698. Bristol and Liverpool were soon to overtake London's position as the leading slave trading port. All right, so I stand correct because I said London took over. No, it was Liverpool. Liverpool and Bristol took over the slave trade, right? And they was doing pretty good. You understand? And that's why, like I said before, if you go to Liverpool right now, that city looks like hell. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it real.
And Bristol was another slave.
And Bristol was another slave port as well. All right, but hey, the Lord is going to destroy this entire system due to the other bloodshed that was done. Because like I said, what made the society what it is right now? It all started and began with bloodshed. You got to go back to the 1400s and the 1500s. What was done? You had a lot of native Indians that were slaughtered to death, that died, because they trusted in the Europeans that came over their shores. All right, and when they got comfortable, they turned their backs. And guess what? They stabbed them right in the back. That's exactly what they did. So let's read some more. What we're dealing with right now is what happened concerning the slave trade. That's what the topic is today. Okay? And that's why Great Britain is where it's at right now. And that's why you got these little white girls out here. They think they're princesses and queens. Why? Because of what the backs of the slaves, man. But they don't know that. But we gonna tell them today. Okay? So let's read this. It says, where was that? All right. It says, Bristol and Liverpool were soon to overtake London's position as the leading slave trading port. But the city of London has already grown rich, and its links ran longer and deeper than anywhere else. By this time, London had profited from the forced removal of more than 100,000 Israelites and the importation of over 30,000 tons of sugar from the Caribbean plantation. And it goes on, it says, to finance one of England's earliest slave trading expeditions, the stranglehold of the slave traders and plantation owners over the city of London was powerful. 15 Lord Mayor of London, 25 sheriffs, and 38 aldermen of the city of London were shareholders in the Royal Africa Company between 1660 to 1690. All right? The risky and long-term nature of the transatlantic slave trading requires a new banking houses that could offer credit for periods between 1.5 to 3 years. So that's telling you right there that we had to build the banks. The Bank of England. Okay, what is it? HSBC, right? That was built by the backs of the slaves. So they can hold in that money. Barclays Bank. Can't forget about them. So when we understand something, as long as we're standing on the shores